Welcome to Gentle Restorative Yoga Blend. In today's class, we're focusing more on finding ease than on making effort. So let's take a moment and just give ourselves permission to take the next hour to relax, to calm the mind, to open the joints, maybe open the heart. Because we'll be doing restorative work during this practice, we do need some props. I've got an assortment of bolsters, cushions, blankets, towels I like to use. We do this because in our restorative poses, we hold those poses for several minutes, and we want to have support for the body so that the joints can just open and ease into the posture without becoming strained or uncomfortable as we go along. We'll be starting with some gentle work. We'll be seated first. I am sitting on a blanket. This is always a nice option. It's always available to you. Just to raise the hips off the floor a little bit to find a comfortable pose, an easy pose. We call it Sukhasana. Start by stacking the spine tall. Just rock the hips from side to side and ground those sits bones down, trying to create equal pressure on both sides of the body so we're nice and stable and balanced. We can just rest our hands on our thighs with our palms up or our palms down. It's up to you. Let's softly close our eyes. Just bring our awareness to the breath first. Just to follow the inhale and the exhale. Becoming aware of the length of the breath. Today I'd like to practice breathing in a circle. For breathing in a circle, we eliminate the pauses after the inhales and the exhales, and just continuously move the air in and out of the body. As we begin to work on that, let's begin to perhaps lengthen the inhales and exhales to about a count of 6. So we're just focusing on inhaling and exhaling without really pausing in between at all. As soon as you finish your inhale, breathe it back out. And try to find ease in the breath. And throughout today's practice, whenever we're holding a posture, feel free to use this breath if it suits you. Okay, let's return to a normal breath and softly open our eyes, bringing our fingertips down to the floor. Let's lift the sternum and stack the spine nice and tall. Imagine shining a light out from your heart. We'll inhale, sweeping the arms up. We'll exhale, pressing down. Let's try to keep those shoulder blades sliding down the back even as we raise the arms, so we're keeping lots of space between our ears and our shoulders. Let's just bring that right arm up as we inhale, and then over as we exhale. Let's hang out here for a little bit. Perhaps trying to spiral the chest up toward the ceiling more, so we're opening the front of the body more. Perhaps walking our left hand out a bit farther to deepen the stretch. You can also drop down to your left elbow and forearm if you'd like. Using breath to expand the right side of the body. On our next inhale, we can rise back up. As we exhale, we'll come back down. Let's inhale the left arm up. Exhale it over. Hang out here. Again, we'll spiral the chest open toward the ceiling. We can slide that right hand farther out. We can drop to the right elbow and forearm for a deeper stretch if we like. Let's try to keep those sits bones down. We'll rise back up. Let's switch the cross of our legs. Come into owl pose now, a gentle twist. Let's bring the right hand to the left thigh and sweeping the left hand behind us. We can make a fist if we want to, or press down with the palm, lifting the chest, so finding lots of length in the spine as we inhale, and then gently twisting to the left as we exhale. Each inhale finds more length in the spine. Each exhale gives us whatever range is open to us today. Breathe and turn, perhaps looking over the shoulder. Remember, we're finding ease today. We're not forcing things. Relaxing back to center. This time bringing the left hand to the right thigh, sweeping the right hand behind, making a fist if we like, lifting up tall. Inhale, stack the spine. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhaling to find that length each time. Exhaling to deepen the twist and perhaps to look over the right shoulder. Relaxing back to center. Let's bring the soles of our feet together now for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose or butterfly. Now you can have your heels about the distance of one of your feet from your torso here. Let's grab the ankles. Let's lift the chest, stack the spine, try to keep length in the spine. Inhale, exhale, folding forward. Still long in the spine. It might help you to keep your gaze forward rather than looking down. When we look down, we sort of tend to follow that with the rest of our body. When we're trying to avoid rounding the back on this one. If your elbows can touch your thighs here, you might add a light press, but it needn't be a strong press. Inhale and exhale a little bit deeper, perhaps, using our sinking breath. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to press a tiny bit deeper. Couple more breaths here. Using this as a yin pose today. Holding it a bit to open the joints. And then rising back up. Let's come into a shoelace pose now. For this, I'm going to stack my knees. If stacking the knees isn't really available to you or not comfortable, that's fine. Just find whatever kind of a cross-leg pose is comfortable. You might even want to kneel. But I'm going to bring my right foot back by my left hip and my left foot back by my right hip. Got my left knee on top of my right knee. Find a comfortable seat. Inhale tall. Exhale, sliding the fingertips out. Now we can release and round forward for the shoelace pose. Breathing and sinking. I'm going to hang out here for just a few breaths, trying to find a little more depth in the pose as we go along. And beginning to rise up, bringing our hands back in. Whatever you're doing, if you have any kind of a cross leg, we'll switch the cross now. So for me, that means bringing the left leg on the bottom, the right knee on the top. Still with the feet back by the hips. Find your pose. Inhale tall. Exhale, release, rounding forward, sliding fingertips out to the side, letting the head hang down. Folding forward, breathing and sinking. As before, we'll hold this for a few breaths. sitting up slowly, drawing the hands in, we can uncross the legs. We can shake those legs out if we want to, just to loosen things up. I'm going to roll to one side and then onto my back. Coming to constructive rest, just for a couple of breaths. Now, sliding the left leg out and drawing the right leg in, I'm grabbing my right thigh with both hands. I'm flexing my right foot. Inhale and exhale, squeezing the air out of your belly. Inhale, pressing the foot up toward the ceiling. Exhale, press the air out of your belly. Inhale, lift. For 3, for 2, for 1. Let's bring it up. Let's keep it up here for a moment. Now let's think about grounding that right hip down. So we're not lifting the hip as we pull the leg in. We will draw that leg in as we're able to deepen the stretch in the hamstrings. You can be holding behind the thigh. You can shift your grip up to behind your calf if you like. We do want to avoid holding behind the knee because there's an artery there that we don't want to compress. Sliding hands back down to the thigh. I'm just going to bring my right hand to my right inner thigh, my left arm out to the side to kind of balance me here so I can lower this right leg out to the side. Opening the hip, breathing and sinking. Just try to keep the shoulder blades down. A couple of breaths. Bring it back up. And this time we'll take the left hand to the right thigh and the right arm out to the side. Bring that right leg across the body over to the left side. Again, trying to keep the shoulders down. Couple of breaths. Bring it back to center. Pull that knee in one more time. And release it out and down. Now, drawing the left knee in, grabbing behind the thigh with both hands, hugging in. Remember, we're finding ease today. So don't overdo. Inhale and exhale to press the air out of your belly. Flex the foot, inhale and press up. Exhale, squeeze the air out of your belly. Inhale, press up. Exhale, squeeze. Let's do a couple more of these. The next time we'll just leave that leg up. Let's be sure that we're grounding that hip down into the mat. We're holding behind the thigh if we like, or we can shift our grip up behind the calf if we prefer. Inhale and exhale, deepening our hamstring stretch. Remember, your stretches should never be painful. They can be a little uncomfortable. You do want to have a sensation of stretch to get benefit, but don't let it be painful. Sliding back down to the thigh. Now I'm going to bring the left hand to the left thigh, the right arm out to the side, grounding my shoulders. I'm going to lower that left leg out. Just let gravity do the work here. Opening that hip for a couple of breaths. Coming back to center. Now I can bring the right hand to the left thigh, the left arm out, keeping the shoulder blades down, dropping that left leg across the body over to the right side. We breathe. Use the breath to relax deeper into the stretch. We'll come back to center. Let's hug that knee in one more time. Release it out and down. Let's draw our feet in, coming back to constructive rest. Now crossing the right ankle over the left knee. We're keeping the right knee open like our number 4. This is our supine variation of pigeon. We'll lift that left leg. We'll grab the left thigh with both hands and hug in. And we can press our right elbow against our right inner thigh here to find more opening in that hip. Breathe. Now we can lower that left foot down to the mat. We can slide the right knee over on top of the left knee, extending our arms out. We can drop the legs to the left with the right leg on top for spinal twist. Option here to take both arms to the right away from the legs. Now coming back to center, uncrossing our legs, switching sides. Now crossing the left ankle over the right knee, but keeping that left knee open first. Lifting the right foot so we can grab the right thigh with both hands, drawing that thigh in, and pressing the left elbow against the left inner thigh, opening our hips in our supine pigeon variation. I like the supine variation very much because it gives you a lot more control, I feel like. Sometimes the standard pigeon can feel a little uncomfortable or like you're not quite sure where things go or how far to go, but in the supine, you're doing all the work yourself. It's not gravity pulling your body down, it's you pulling your body in, so you have more control. You can find that spot where it's comfortable, not painful, but where you feel that there's work happening, opening up your hip. Now bringing that right foot down, sliding the left knee over the right knee, extending arms out, grounding the shoulder blades. Now I'm dropping my legs to the right, my left leg on top. And again, I have an option to bring both arms to the other side, kind of deepening my twist here, and breathing and sinking into it. Coming back to center, I'm going to go ahead and do a restorative pose here. I want to do a restorative bridge. Let me give you some options. If you don't want to do the bridge portion because it is a mild inversion, you can just do a constructive rest. What I would do for that is walk my feet a little wider apart so that my knees are falling in. I can relax here in this pose for a few minutes. If you'd like to do the bridge with me, you'll need something to rest underneath your sacrum. That something can be as high or as low as is comfortable or desirable for you. Could be a block, could be a cushion, pillow. Again, it's not really important to me. It's important for you to find what's comfortable and what works best for you. So I often use my big bolster. Today I'm just going to use this block. Now a block can be turned 3 different ways to 3 different heights. So I get a choice here, but again, I want to be here for a few minutes, so I want to be comfortable. So with our feet hip-width apart, if we're doing bridge, and our shoulder blades grounded, let's put the weights into our shoulders, into our heels. We'll lift the hips enough to slide a block, pillow, whatever, under the sacrum. Find a comfortable spot. You can relax into it. We can just bring those arms back down to the floor. We can have our palms up. We can have our arms out to the side. We can even take our arms out overhead for more openness, more sensation. Whatever works for you. If you have a washcloth, I'm going to cover your eyes here. That's also a nice option. Perhaps you'd like to try that breathing in a circle once again. Let's just bring awareness to our breath, whatever we're doing with it. Trying to clear the mind. Focus on being here in this moment, with this breath, in this pose. And bringing our arms back down to our sides if they're not already there. If we're in a supported bridge, let's ground into our heels and our shoulder blades and lift enough to remove our support and lower our hips back down to the floor. Let's all hug the knees into the chest. Just rock the back out a little bit to release it here. Now we're rolling over onto our hands and knees. With our knees under our hips and our wrists under our shoulders. We always have an option here to make fist for wrist that keeps the wrists aligned and neutral. Sliding the shoulder blades down the back, we're lengthening the neck and creating space between the ears and shoulders. Inhaling, we're lifting our chest and tailbone into cow pose. Exhaling, we scoop our abs and curl our spine, looking down at our knees for cat pose. Inhaling, we lift. Exhaling, we scoop. Inhaling, we lift. Exhaling, we scoop. Now coming back to neutral. Just sway the hips from side to side. And coming back to stillness. We can slide our hands forward, keeping our hips stacked over our knees. Coming into a puppy pose. Floating the forehead down to the mat. Finding a nice release in the back. A couple of breaths here. And then drawing the left hand in and sliding it under the chest, palm up, pressing the chest down on top of the left arm. So I'm getting a nice thread the needle here, stretching the back of the left shoulder. Breathing and sinking. And bringing that left arm back under the chest and forward. Coming back to puppy pose. A breath or two here. And sliding that right arm in and across under the chest, palm up. If at any point you want to stick a towel or a blanket under your head for comfort, that's completely fine. Breathe. Feel the stretch in the back of the right shoulder. Then drawing that right arm back in and forward, coming back to puppy. And then sitting back on our heels, coming up. So let's kneel up for a moment here and step the right foot forward. Coming to this low lunge, so I have my back toenails curled, pressed down on the mat. I'm going to bring my hands to heart center. Inhale for back bend. And exhale and scoop forward. Inhale and lift. Exhale and scoop. Inhale and lift. Exhale and scoop. On my next inhale, I'm going to lift and perhaps extend my arms up if I wish for Anjaneyasana. Shifting the weight forward, opening the hip there, the left hip opening. Couple of breaths, breathing and sinking. And then pressing back, I'll flex the left foot, inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to fold deeper. If you'd like to use some blocks or bolsters here to support your hands, you can. Inhaling, lengthen to the spine, then exhaling to press a little deeper into this Hanuman Asana. Stepping that right leg back, stepping the left foot forward, coming to heart center, inhaling to back bend, exhaling to crunch forward, inhaling to back bend, just mobilizing the spine here. exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Option to roll the shoulders and sweep the arms up. Anjaneyasana, pressing the hips forward and down, getting a stretch here in this right leg and the hip flexors and quadriceps. Breathing and sinking, and then pressing back, flexing the left foot, inhaling length into the spine, exhaling to press the chest and belly down onto the quad here for hamstring stretch. Couple of breaths. Let's step that foot back. Let's set up for a restorative child's pose. The main thing you'll need is a bolster or stack of pillows or something to rest on as you fold forward. But there are some little adjustments you can add to that as well. I like to roll up a blanket, not too thick, to put behind my knees sometimes, because sitting back on your knees for an extended period of time might become uncomfortable. Also a nice option here, because your ankles kind of get flattened out here, you might want to put rolled up towels under the ankles to protect them. Again, we'll be here for a few minutes, so these are just things we do to help stay comfortable throughout the pose. I bring my big toes together, open my knees wide, and then bring my bolster kind of between my knees here. And again, you can pile up as much stuff as you'd like to have here to keep your spine as long as possible here. Feel free to stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands, or to grab your opposite elbows and rest your forehead on your elbows. If you'd like to turn your head to one side, that's fine. I'll give you a couple of minutes and then give you a cue to turn it to the other side. So find whatever feels the most comfortable for you. You might want to start inhaling to lengthen first and exhaling to release down onto your bolsters. Sinking your hips back. Finding your breath, finding the calm. You might want to scan the body here, especially to feel that those shoulder blades are relaxed and melting down the back. The hips are sinking. Quads are relaxed. Inhale and exhale. If you have your head turned to one side, now's a good time to turn it to the other side. Bringing our hands down to the floor on either side of our bolsters, we can press ourselves up here. Let's just take a moment for the blood to come back to the head so we're not dizzy. We're moving now to a supine pose, a fish pose, a heart-opening pose. The main thing we'll need is a bolster or blanket, something with some length, ideally. You can also roll up a blanket long ways. You might want to roll up a couple of blankets to create the length and the size that you would want to support your back here. A couple of options for this supported fish pose. We can take the bolster perpendicular to the body, and with our hips grounded, lie back, catching just under the arm here, on the bottom of the shoulder blades. But you'll need to have something else to support your head, so your head's not just hanging here. Arms can come out to the side or overhead, whatever you like. I'm going to be doing the parallel version with the bolster in line with my spine, still with my hips grounded, but bringing this bolster right up to my sacrum. So I lie back. My head is already supported. If your bolster's not long enough to support your head again, just get something else to support it. If I wanted to put a bolster under my legs, I could. Optional. I'll just do that for fun. If I wanted pillows or towels under my hands, I could do that as well. I could cover my eyes with an eye pillow or washcloth. I can have my arms out to the side, down at my side, or extended overhead, whatever finds the best sensation for me today. So as you settle in, finding whichever variation of the pose works best for you, whatever extra props you might want to help yourself. This is one of our heart-opening poses. So I would suggest some heart-focused breathing. You might imagine the air coming in and out through your heart as you breathe. You might imagine a light in your heart as the energy flows through it. And I think a heart-opening pose is the ideal time to practice a loving-kindness meditation. So perhaps you know someone who is sick or troubled or distressed or grieving. Perhaps you know someone that needs support, love, comfort. So in this pose, in this meditation, I offer you the opportunity to send out that good feeling to that person. And you'll find that it comes back to you as well. When we offer healing to others, we are healing ourselves. Uncovering our eyes if they're covered. You can roll to one side, and press back up to a seated position. For the next pose, we'll just need that one long bolster, whatever you were using for fish pose will probably work pretty well for deer pose. So sitting sideways to this now with it against my side hip, I'm going to draw my knees up at about a right angle bend to start. I'm going to turn my torso toward the bolster, so I'm getting a light twist. I'm lowering myself down. I can fold my arms or stack my hands. Now, I'm going to keep my bottom leg here, whichever leg that is, where it is. I'm going to slide my right leg back pretty much until my knee is at the heel of my bottom leg for deer pose. Take a moment, closing the eyes softly, settling in, relaxing the shoulder blades, relaxing the spine, relaxing the hips, sinking into the pose, following the breath. Bringing our hands down to either side of the bolster, we can press ourselves up. We'll be switching to the other side. You could either leave the bolster where it is and just turn yourself around, or you can move the bolster to your other hip. Bring those knees to right angle bend. Turning to face the bolster, inhaling length into the spine, taking a gentle twist, exhaling to lower down, resting the head. Now sliding that top leg back so that top knee just touches the bottom heel. Taking a moment to release the shoulders, the spine, the hips, the legs. Feel the weight of your body sinking. Feel that you are supported and that there is no effort in keeping your body up. Breathe and melt into it. Bringing our hands back down beside the bolster, we can press ourselves up once more. We can start to prepare for our final relaxation. Today I'm going to offer you a choice of traditional Shavasana or mountain brook, which is like Shavasana with some extra bolstering and support. If you want to do Shavasana, you might just grab a washcloth or eye pillow to cover your eyes. If you'd like to do mountain brook, or any portion of it, this is the nice thing about mountain brook and Shavasana, you can pick and choose whatever parts of the bolstering you'd like to add into it. I always like to support my knees, so a nice rolled up blanket for the knees is a nice option. In mountain brook, we sometimes support the lower back as well, just enough to kind of fill in that space. So not a big support there for the lower back. I'm going to use my softer blanket for that. And then maybe for the neck, maybe a rolled up towel. And here's the nice thing about rolling up a towel. You can unroll it to whatever size gives you a nice support in the neck. Remember, we're just looking for enough support here. We don't want to like jack things up. We just want to have enough support. Give us that sense of relaxation, that we're grounded, and that we're safe. So finding your way onto your back. So I've got my optional knee bolster, my low back here, and then I can take my towel and I can roll it as much as I want to roll it to support my neck. Very comfortable. place my washcloth or eye pillow over my eyes, letting the arms float down to the sides, palms up, taking a moment now to just scan the body. Look for any signs of tension. Maybe you need a little more support somewhere to be able to relax and ground down. Let's start from the crown of the head and just release any tension in the scalp or the forehead. Relax those tiny muscles around your eyes. Soften the jaw, relax the tongue. Soften the neck. Let your shoulders just melt down into the floor. Let your arms be loose, your joints relaxed, elbows soft. Fingers perhaps just lightly curled. Feel your spine sinking down. Feel your belly sinking into your abdomen. Let the hips ground down into the floor. Relax those quadriceps, soften those knees. Relax the calves. Allow your feet to just fall out to the side. Maybe give yourself a deep inhale and sigh out any tension that's left. Everything's supported. The body can let go. The mind can focus on the breath. Perhaps you just want to follow a normal breath. Perhaps you want to do your circular breathing again. But follow the breath and let any stray thoughts just pass on through as we sink deeper into relaxation. You can remain in Shavasana longer if you like. Whenever you're ready, we'll begin to deepen the breath, bringing awareness back into the body, letting the belly rise and fall. Perhaps rocking the head from side to side, light movements, wiggling the fingers and toes, perhaps circling the wrists and ankles, one direction and the other. And we can bend our knees, plant our feet, and roll to one side. Feel free to remove any bolsters or blankets you need to at this point. Let's keep our eyes closed for now. Stay in the breath. And then, again with ease, pressing ourselves up, finding our comfortable seat, bringing hands to heart center. Taking a moment to appreciate the gift of yoga we've given ourselves, the calm, the peace. Perhaps being able now to share that with others. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.